I would like to introduce.
Wiser.
Hey everybody, Whipsy here, and welcome to the show. Tonight we got some a special guest, and I don't even know their name. So we're gonna welcome our guest in, and we're gonna have a great night. So let's do that first. Let's welcome our guest in. 10 Soldier YT, introduce yourself. Tell us where we can find you on social media, and we'll get going on our night.
What's up, everyone? I'm 10. I do a lot of stuff. You can find me mostly over on YouTube with the same name that I have here. I also do some Twitch streaming, and tonight I'm building the Hexagear VThor because Hexagear is my current addiction.
All right. Let's see. This is kind of what I'm working on tonight. I have this big, huge diorama that
Oh, it's beautiful.
I am building, and it is a brainchild for sure because I've been working on this build for 10 months now, and it just it came to full fruition just recently. Like it was in pieces, shambles. Like I had sections set up. Like I want to do this and I want to do that, and all that type of stuff. So I started setting up everything, and
I can't even imagine spending 10 months in a build. Even my fully painted, fully masked and scribed kits, I think the longest one took me like 6 weeks, and I even had to hand mix paint for that one.
well, this piece here took about a month.
So good. Not a big Zaku person, but that's freaking beautiful.
I mean, I felt like it was appropriate for that Zaku. Like, that's a great spot to have him hanging out. So that's what he was all about, and then I did all that.
I only ever did one diorama, and I did it for a contest, and then it was for a Gelgoog. Poured some resin over its feet, put it in the water, built the
Oh
whole
yeah,
background too. And
that's
now that Gelgoog is out of its diorama and has been freed from the resin prison because I cannot display it on the Gelgoog shelf with the size of that diorama.
all
But
that. And then
was
yeah.
it was
So
fun. That diorama was mostly it was a cut in half bin that was missing its lid with the front cut off. That was clear, painted gray on everything except for the back and everything except for the front ledge, so it could hold the resin water. And then I bandsawed that off when it was done drying.
kids, they don't know how to listen.
I think
So
that would go for anyone in my generation, honestly.
oh yeah, I don't know. Every generation, we're all kids to some other generation, right?
Oh, that is for sure. I don't want to know what the generation I'll be calling kids when I'm your guys' age is going to be. I already don't. I already don't like being part of the generation I'm a part of. I hate to see what the future holds.
Hey, I'm part of the group of people that didn't like being in the generation that I'm a part of. So there we are.
I think that's just every generation.
I feel like that. Yeah. All right. Um. So, yeah, this is what else I'm working on tonight, everyone. I will be pulling some parts out, and the kids are supposed to feed the dogs. So, I'm gonna make this thing glow in the dark. That's what I decided. I don't know. So for anybody watching, if you know, this is a competition entry kit that I'll be working on, and I decided that's going to be the special thing I do about this kit is I'm gonna make it glow in the dark. So It'll be like a glowing lotus flower, you know, because this thing folds up like a flower and everything. So,
I'm surprised you're not painting it neon and fully embracing the 80s shoulder panels.
well, I am going to be painting it a purple. So it is actually going to get a color, but I don't know what other colors I want to paint it. I don't know if I'm going to keep everything the way it is that's already there and just change the white panels, or if I'm going to change all the colors. Haven't decided on that part yet. Or give them like a repaint, you know. That's an option for this one. Um, what is your favorite non-mecha anime?
Not non-mecha. Oh,
Yeah.
that's hard because I'm a rom-com person.
Oh, oh,
Ooh,
so you're like
if
a
we're
death
gonna
note
go with
guy, right?
if we're gonna go with current anime, I really like what the studio that came together to make Mushoku Tensei is doing. I own the entire novel series and the manga,
Okay.
and I've got to say it is by far one of the best adaptations I have watched of any anime.
Sweet. Well, I will go back and look that name up and check that out then, because that is not an anime I've heard.
That studio came together. Mushoku Tensei is an isekai, but it's not like normal isekai slot. So he actually
All right.
wasn't supposed to get sent to that world. It was complete accident because of something else that happened in that world. So there's two people there, and
Yeah.
he decided he was a NEET. His parents died. He got bullied at school, so he just sat at home, and then he finally did something good with his life and died for it. So he's using that life as a second life instead of most isekai where it's like I'm gonna be super overpowered and do everything. It's like I fucked up in my last life and I'm gonna make the most of this second chance that I shouldn't have. Compared to woohoo, new world, let's be crazy. It's a nice change of pace from the genre, and I say that as someone who watches a lot of isekai.
Okay. I've watched the obviously, the more commonly known ones. And then
Yeah,
I've watched a few obscure ones from like the 1980s, but I haven't watched all of them or a lot of them. So,
yeah.
uh,
I watch a lot of anime, probably more than I should, but
well,
I build
whenever I
mecha model
find
kits. What
something,
do we expect from each other?
right, exactly. I was like, whenever I find something that's good to watch, I will binge watch as much of it as I can. If nobody
Oh,
else
we
is
talked about
complaining,
that's the exact reason I haven't picked up any shows like One Piece or Dragon Ball because I tried going through Naruto and I just could not watch it all. There's just way too much of it.
yeah,
I'm a
Naruto is
binge
a lot.
watcher.
Yeah, Naruto's a
I
lot. Or and then in Dragon Ball, what's hard is if you got to decide and make that initiative as a fan if you're going to accept in any third party content with Dragon Ball, because there's so much third party content with Dragon Ball, it's insane. So that's what you really gotta be clear on what kind of fan you are when you even go into that realm to talk to other fans, because if you've never watched like Dragon Ball Heroes, or if you've never watched there's another one called like Dragon Ball, it's something to do with Kai. Like it was a play off the Dragon Ball Kai series or whatever. So if you don't know anything about any of those, then like Dragon Ball is like really hard to get into in certain fandoms and stuff that I've seen. Other fandoms of Dragon Ball are just like no, we're just talking about what's canon. And then you're like, "Oh, okay, super easy to talk to you guys because, what's canon's easy to follow. It's set material." But there's so much, like the Dragon Ball Heroes stuff is so extended and so much. They like
It's crazy how much stuff there is for it. And that's not
right,
even getting into Naruto or One Piece, because that's even my God.
the beam effect for this kit is so bright yellow.
Yeah, I don't. I'm more of I have a lot of high grades, but I'm mostly a master grade builder. Most of
All
my
right.
high grades are either build kits or the Witch from Mercury series because I rather enjoyed that. And I'm planning on doing dioramas for every fight scene. I just don't have the space to display all those right now, so they sit in my backlog. But
Yeah, I understand that.
dude, the green beam effect parts from the Witch from Mercury series fluoresce under my lights from my ceiling. That's how bright they are.
All right,
It's
so let's.
genuinely insane.
Why? I don't know. I don't get that. So they didn't reverse. They didn't reverse the parts. So it's like it's an asymmetrical, symmetrical build. Does anybody ever notice that? There's
I
like,
have. I've seen a lot of people build the Cubelay, and I'm like, so what if you wanted to do a custom, but you don't want to do any work? Buy a Cubelay and turn the shoulders around on one side.
right, or figure that out some way. Right? I don't know. You would
I
have to
mean,
like, you'd have to
it's a
cut them
high
out. You'd
grade.
have to
It's
transpose
probably
them.
for the best that they just reverse the shoulders instead of doing something crazy. Because not only is it a high grade, it's an older high grade. They weren't doing what they've done with the ones nowadays, where they're all
Yeah,
basically just tiny real grades.
yeah, save time. They saved lots of time when they made that
Makes
decision.
painting easier. You can do it
Yeah,
all in one go.
kind of. It's one big giant piece, but I'm still going to take a pencil and draw on it and make my own scribe lines. Uh-oh.
What scribing? Do you use a chisel or do you use a scribing pen? I'm a pen person.
Okay, so I have a few different tools that help me with scribing. I can go all the way back down to my first scribing tool that I had to make myself, which was a metal needle that I ground down with a file into a pin that could scrape the plastic very, very finely. That
Sounds
one
like me
was
using
okay.
a hobby knife for my first scribe lines.
Yep, and then after I got that, I got a trumpeter. And then I used the trumpeter for quite a while, and I like the trumpeter for a few reasons. One, it's a good carving tool. Like if you like to carve your polystyrene and stuff, trumpeter makes a really good carving. Like it's like a 3-in-1 tool. And then I was also able to make a guide for it so I can make straight lines along edges and stuff. So I have a guide that I can attach to my trumpeter. And then after I bought a trumpeter, I bought a couple different of the Amazon generic brand chisels. And they were okay. They kind of did what I wanted them to do, but they created a really um a, a an aggressive line. Like the line they created, it wasn't always clean and it was aggressive looking. And I
Yeah,
was like, no.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so I was like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something simple and clean. So somebody recommended for me to get the Display, and I got the Display push brooch, and that one has its positives as well. It gives you the clean cut you're looking for. However, it's super sharp, and that's like also the drawback because you can also accidentally make a bad cut with it, and because it's so super sharp, it really gouges into the piece. And so there's a 50-50 there. Go slow, take your time with it, or use a not so sharp tool, which would be one of those Amazon guys. So I don't know. I'm learning with the push brooch though. It's really good. I have a few different sizes of it, and it does some really neat stuff.
Yeah. My scriber of choice is the Gun Primer Grita. It was my first scribing pen, and I still use it. It's
Okay.
comfortable. It's great for thick lines. It's great for shallow lines. And since it's adjustable like a pen with the tip in there,
Yeah.
it is really good for just leaving the tiniest bit out and retracing over shallow lines on kits
Sweet.
in general. Because like I can make it really long, and it's a square needle, not a round needle. So it works from any angle on any side, no matter what position.
Okay, I was just
About
about
the
to
same on
ask, does it
everything.
swivel or is it fixed, or but if it's a
Yeah,
square, it
it
doesn't
is
matter.
fixed, but it extends to be longer and shorter, and it's just this. If I take it out here, this is the entire thing.
Hmm, Let's let's blow you up. There you go. Now you can show everybody. That's cool.
And it just
Okay, so
fits into this pen through the back, kind of like a mechanical pencil.
I was
I'm
just
just going to
about
feed
to
it in
ask,
through
is
the
that
front.
kind of like the mechanical pencil setup?
so that you
Yeah.
can leave it. You can have it big. You can have it short. Depends on how big you want your lines. I usually leave it about to there for rescribing over lines that are already on the kit,
Sweet.
and then I do two for scribing new lines. Usually, I don't have it out farther than this. I
All
love
right.
the gun primer tools. They are fantastic all around.
I have no experience with any of them, but lots of people do say they're a good product.
Yeah,
So
I live, breathe, and swear by the racer for glass vials. I
okay.
have almost every limited edition cover of these things. They're just so nice to have more than one of.
All right. I use just generic glass files. I just wanted to know if there were, any glass files were any good, and so I researched and I found out that like there's a specific kind of glass file you want to look for when you're buying them, and to match up with like what gun primer does, and what's the other one?
Yeah,
Is
because
it Raisin
the
or
way
something like that?
I've tried the Dispace Siren. I've used
Oh,
like
that one.
normal expensive fingernail glass files. I've tried no name cheap ones from the drugstore, like some people say to use, and really, out of everything, nothing works like the gun primer racer. People can
Cool.
try and say it's overrated, just go buy a Display one, and I'm going to go right back and show them pictures that I have taken comparing the two. There is no file that takes down.
Uh, your audio cut. Are you there?
Okay,
Looks
note to self. Do not let OBS take over.
good. Okay. Oh, we got a flying Ewok in. They say they're at work. They just joined to say that
That
10 soldier
pencil.
sixes got up for the
I hate my chat. I hate my chat. Can you guys go one stream without being cringe? Is that
Oh,
something
that's
you're
so
capable of
awesome.
doing?
Well, welcome to Web C official. Like that's the
Oh my lord. I don't
your
think my
people love
chat
you.
can go one stream without being cringe. I don't think it's possible.
Oh no, it's okay.
Mr. Pot of Greed himself. I'm going to draw 3 cards from his deck, I tell you. Maybe then he won't have as many jokes to make.
Ooh.
But yeah. You build mostly Bandai, or you branched into Kodo at all?
I have done one Katabukiya kit, and then I just did a car recently. Last fall, I did a 1971 Mustang Mach 1. I custom painted the whole thing on that. I got it up here. I'll pull it down. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
I've done one car model and I have a couple in the backlog. I really only did the car because I picked up some Turbo Dork color shift and I wanted to test it out and I thought it would be cool to put it on the car.
Okay.
It is still my only car kit. It's actually right over here. I don't know why it's on the shelf down here when it should be upstairs with the cars and motorcycles.
There is.
There it is. Got all of my detail painting down there. I went crazy
Nice.
on the masking.
I did the same thing. I'm the same way. Whenever I learned a hobby through model cars. So before I got into mecha or anything else, I was doing model cars for since I was about 9 years old. So uh, I did that for almost.
Those Tamiya cars are real nice.
Oh yeah, I believe this one is not a Tamiya. I think this one is a Rebel. This was a 2.0 build of this car, I think, and it was like a
Now, if you want to
steel.
talk controversial opinions, let's talk about Revel in general. Most people hate Revel kits.
All right, well, listen. All I know is if you want to prove that you got a skill level of any
Build a
kind,
Revel kit.
build some Ravel. Like if you can make those kits look nice, well, then you've got some modeling skills. Because that's the only. I don't really hate them because I grew up with them, so I know what to expect when I pull them out. You know, you got a knife for scraping off the flashing. You got a knife for cleaning up the all the little parts and stuff. Oh man! So I totally get where the love hate relationship with that is, but some of the things that I did love about Revell growing up as a kid, building all of them, was just the detail in like if you really pay attention to all that detail, like you get some really cool results and stuff. So
That
um,
for sure. The things I do to my kits, especially these Hexagear kits, I was building one earlier, and I'm like, ooh, this thing has pipes. And then I went through and chromed and silvered and red and blue every single pipe, even though none of it gets seen. I do the same thing on my Gundam interframes, and people are like, so why are you doing this? And I'm like, because I know it's there. And
uh-huh.
if I don't do it, it will annoy me for the rest of time.
I had to do that with this guy. When I got him and I pulled him out of the box, all of the golds on him were three different colors. There were three different golds on him. And I couldn't tolerate it. I was like, nope. I was like, we're gonna have to fix that because his on his shield, this gold right here was different than this gold here, and then the gold that was on his hips. These pieces are actually separate little gold pieces. They weren't even the right colors, and
So they
then
were all molded in a different color of gold?
yeah, there was different gold molds on this one model, and I was just like,
Like,
it's a Bandai model, and I was just like, no,
yeah,
we got
I
to fix
can get
that.
it if it's supposed to be different shades of gold, but Bandai doesn't have the best injection gold. Actually, can't.
No,
I
no, they
can't
don't.
say that. I
No.
just built the high grade Code Geass Gawain, and oh my god, I opened that up and I'm like, is that gold painted? That's how good that injection gold was. Bandai has stepped up their game. The
When I
every bit of injection in that kit was perfect.
when I got the what was it? When I got the MGEX Freedom Home finally, I looked at it. I opened it up and looked at all the runners to make sure they were all in good condition, and some of the golds in there are impressive, and then there's some golds in there where I'm just like, really? We're gonna fix you.
Granted,
Leave
granted,
you
the
alone.
injection gold in there was not bad, and it was used well. Because any of those painted plated golds, I would not want doing any of the heavy work lifting on the joints where they use the injection.
No, not at all. You're
And
right. I
if
agree
it
with
was
that.
all that injection gold, it would have been horrible, but it was balanced out well with the painted ones they used. I have the midnight coat on on the shelf behind me,
Very
which
nice.
is yeah. I hear a lot. People are always like, another big discourse I hear in a lot of the servers I'm in is leaving injection metallics or painting injection metallics. And
Mm,
I'm honestly of the camp that if it is a small metallic piece, I will leave it because I just don't want to go through the hassle of painting a small metallic piece and then putting it back in.
yeah, so for me, it depends on if it's going to keep up with the new paint scheme that I've put to it. If it doesn't match the new paint scheme, then it's going to have to get altered. Otherwise, yeah, if it matches, and I keep it. You know, so because I paint and customize a lot of my Gunpla. So,
90% of my kits are partially painted. I ever since I started painting, I stopped doing color correcting stickers. If there's a sticker, it gets painted instead.
that's a, that's a very
So
good that is a very good way
I
to
don't
do that.
fully paint all of my kits, but every color inaccuracy, whether corrected by a sticker or just not covered at all in the manual, gets painted.
What are you using for your camera lens paint? What is your go-to for those
Camera
blue?
lenses. All right. So usually what I do is either Display white with an EX Gundam marker if it's behind a clear part,
Okay.
and if it and like it's just a white clear part, or if it's a colored clear part, Molotov liquid chrome markers, letting that cure before I put the clear part behind it. It's beautiful.
Interesting. Show you
I
right.
I chrome behind all of my clear parts.
Okay. I use this stuff right here. So that's what it looks like on all my camera lenses
Ooh,
and stuff.
Jumpland metallics?
It's like Walmart.
Oh,
It's Walmart hobby brand.
yeah.
It's very
I do a lot of
cheap.
airbrushing, and I'm a lacquer person.
Oh,
So
these go
I've heard
through
a
the
lot.
airbrush.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say craft paint and stuff, but I do so much lacquer painting, I just don't mess with acrylics anymore.
Ah,
Never
okay.
really have.
I was gonna say because like the Createx products, the thinners and stuff made by Createx for the water-based acrylics, they work just fine with this cheapo stuff for getting it to
Yeah.
go through an airbrush.
I don't
Hey,
have
I
anything
totally,
for
I
acrylics.
totally get it. I have acrylics and I have a lacquer system. Well, I have two lacquer systems. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, I do lacquers and enamels.
Okay.
Recently I started candy coating with Alclad because I bought a full set of Alclad paints.
Yep, I have that system.
Best buying that entire set of Alclad paints was the best decision of my life.
It is a labor of patience with all clad.
I'm just glad that I wasn't able to get the Alclad gloss black because I've heard that the gloss black base from Alclad is absolutely awful.
Actually, I really like it. I
Yeah,
only
I
like it for using it as a chrome base, though. I don't like
yeah,
it for anything else. I'm
I've
not.
heard that it does
Just I don't
not
want to
like
think
to
about it.
cure.
Oh, it's just fine. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you. Here you go.
It's beautiful. I
That
just candy
is,
coated some gold on a spoon to test for the Lancelot Albion, so I can finally have all my code geese kits built and on display.
so he is fully, um, as you say,
God, that
fully
is
formed.
beautiful.
So and he shimmers and sparkles, and this is all clad. So this was the first time I really went full bore with using the all clad system. And some of the things that I learned are you better sand your parts.
You better
Don't
sand and you better prime.
do not skip a step. If you know how to auto body paint, it's the same process. Just follow that process. It's
Yeah.
so simple, and I got good results. There were some parts where I sped up, and I was like, "Here, I'm just gonna bump these pieces to get enough scratches on them to hold on to some paint." And I can tell, I can see on here. You might not, or the more trained eye would be able to see it if I took it out of the case and like zoomed in on the camera and stuff. But there's a few parts that have orange peel, and I'm not happy with it. So when I do my next go around with a chrome kit like this, I'll definitely pay more attention and slow down and pay attention to that detail. And
Sand and surfacer. Sand and surfacer.
yep. So for this one, I just used the whole all-clad system. I used their primer filler, and then it was just for me. What bothered me about their system is the 18-hour dry times where I live, because that was I timed it. I was as it's like so it was
Now, is
dry.
that the Alcad 1 or the Alcad 2 paints?
Two, it's the two brand paints.
Yeah, I just tried to candy coat a spoon with the Alcad 2 Chrome, and from what I've learned running it so far, you want a really light coat of the chrome and then a heavier coat of the clear. And
Interesting.
it
I
it didn't dry, like it dried to workable levels on the spoon, but it didn't dry as fast as my other paints usually do. It's
no,
definitely longer than my other lacquers,
I've
which is
heard you can
going to
get
test my patience.
better candy results if you use the all-clad silver instead of the all-clad chrome. I've heard you can get some really good candy results using that product over the chrome.
This kit isn't specifically going to be candy coated. I don't want it to look like candy, but I'm making a gold, which is why I'm use a mirror gold, which is why I'm using the chrome. If I was going to use any other color, I would probably either use the dark chrome to make it darker gold, or just use the duralumium. I can't say that word.
This is the gold I got
Duralumium.
for the all-clad.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for right there.
This is my Tony Stark build.
Iron Man wing.
Yep.
Is that a wing?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
Iron
wing
Man
base.
wing. Yep. Wing base. Wing Gundam is going to be the base for my entire Avengers series Gundams. I'm working on War Machine right now.
We have a wing Gundam fan here. I see.
Yes, I
I
am
was
a
not. I was
Gundam.
not the biggest wing fan. I like the
Okay.
mobile suit. I just did not like the anime.
Okay, so I'm impartial to the anime. I thought the anime was cool when I was a kid. Growing up and watching it again as an adult and paying attention to what they're actually talking about changes my perspective of the anime. So I'm not so much as like a diehard fan of it, but I'm still a fan because I watched it as a kid. But now, as an adult, watching something like Iron Blood Orphans, I'm more a fan of that, and I have that more personal relationship to some of those characters in that show moreover than any of the other Gundam shows. So that's like one of my key Gundam shows is Iron Blood Orphans. But I liked all
I
the original stuff.
freaking love IBO. IBO and Unicorn have the two best Gundam soundtracks of all time. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Spanish guitar player. I'm saying that because the IBO soundtrack is phenomenal.
All right, so I'm kind of doing some taking a pencil and just drawing on
Ooh,
what some
that's
panel
gonna
lines
look
might
so
look
nice
like.
when it's done.
So I'm not sure. It's just a mock up. I might take the other one and do a different mock up and we'll see what I come up with. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And then I did some loops around these guys so far and I might like connect them or something. I don't know. That actually sounds cool.
I haven't worked around a camera in so long. This feels so weird.
Oh man.
My old live build setup has an aerial mounted camera. And right now I'm not at my desk because my desk is upstairs and that's where all the people are.
Oh no, are you just like running away from all the people tonight or something or
That and they're watching TV.
oh okay.
But
Good times.
I have not worked around a camera in ages. I've almost forgotten how.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
I
have to
was
learn to
supposed
do that when I go back to doing reviews. I have a bunch of reviews planned to to do for kits. I'm gonna have to go back to knowing how to do this. So better now than never.
I was supposed to have somebody else come in and do the show with me tonight, and they kind of had a last minute. Oops, I overscheduled, and I need to go do this thing over here. And I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Like go do what you gotta do. Okay, so we're gonna make that look like a flower petal. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, and a honeycomb pattern at the same time. Yes, yes indeed. I like this. I like where that went. Let's see if it likes where this went.
The question is the part gonna like it?
I think
Maybe
that
cut
might
out
be
and
cool.
cleaned I5.
And then have that line that's going through be a different color, like a streak. I could match it with the color of the vents or whatever that are actually in those slits. That would be cool too.
Yeah, what color are you gonna do for the deck? I don't even know what to call those weird colored things on the Cubile. I don't even know what to call those.
Um,
Are they vents? I think they're vents, aren't they?
So these would have to be vents or
Yeah.
inductions of some
They're
sort.
they're they're something.
Oh wait, no. Okay, in the anime, don't those like open up and fire beams?
I have
It's
no idea. I know the
like,
funnels are located on the inside of those wings, like the underside. I have no idea what those things do.
yeah,
I
so
don't
there's
know. I don't know much about the Cubelay. I am most of my mobile suit knowledge is relegated to Double O.
well, I really honestly just want to paint this thing to look like Emerald Weapon from Final Fantasy VII and be done with it, then make it glow in the dark because I think that's what this really it if we look at it, that's what it looks like. Is it looks like Emerald Weapon.
It
Um,
it does. And I say that as someone who doesn't actually really play Final Fantasy. It looks like Emerald Weapon.
I'm just like, I think we could get away with turning it into Emerald Weapon. Or I have this awful Zaku green color in my G Paint series. I could just use that.
I hot take, I like G Paint as a paint.
Oh, I have the whole series. That's my
I
library.
have the when I heard that Justin fucked up and went bankrupt, I went to every site that I'd ever bought G Paint from and bought out every last bottle in stock.
Ah, you're so stingy. No, I didn't do that, but I have enough to last me for a few
Yeah, because
years.
I was like down to like 4 bottles when that announcement hit, and I'm like, well, I was about to buy more paint, so I guess now is a better time than any.
Right.
The
Well,
only thing I'm missing is I don't have the Christmas set. The Halloween set had my favorite white paint I have ever used ever. That
okay.
ghost white is beautiful.
I have the Christmas set, but I do not have the Halloween set. I have I bought the basic set, I bought the metallic set, I bought the Christmas set, and then I bought like a couple bottles of white and a couple bottles of black, just like to bulk up on those for mixing colors.
I
So
bought every bottle of Dark Iron because the Dark Iron is the best paint in the line.
that's inner frame paint.
Yep.
That's the best looking inner frame. Like I like using the dark silver for inner frame as well. It can give you a good look. Um
Yeah, I mix the dark silver and the dark iron for spots, and then I use gunmetal, a mix of gunmetal and dark iron for weapons. The
that's cool.
gunmetal is
Yeah.
probably one of the worst paints in the line. It does not like to exist.
Yeah. Where is that kid at? I have
It
a
it the gunmetal takes so much more time to dry compared to everything, and it just does not cover well.
I didn't have that big. Okay, so I don't have that issue with these in my workstation. So my workstation dries them out 20 minutes to 25 minutes, and then the fumes stop off gassing after an hour. So, so I just keep a fan on them and blowing them out, venting out of the room into the like open air. So, but they off gas for like an hour after they dry. But you can dry. They're touchable after 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Clear.
that's why I like them because I paint in single sessions usually.
Yeah.
So the way with how fast they dry, it's very welcome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I still wait overnight before I put tape on them though. I'm
Yeah,
just
same.
I'm a little I'm a little like, okay, you can wait for the tape. But yeah, if I want to mess with them or touch them, though, I can definitely. After 20 minutes, I found that it's a pretty good solid. The water base that I use, it's only about 40 minutes for it to be dry. Like the water base I use is a pretty solid product too, but I have to mix that myself and everything. So it kind of, I guess you could say it like it's mixing based on my specifications of what I want. So I put more of the stuff in it that helps it dry. I don't know. I do mix
Yeah,
it
it
my
makes.
way. I don't listen to the manufacturers. I tell everybody else to listen to the manufacturers, though.
Hey, you listen to the manufacturer.
Watch what I didn't do. No. So, I kind of like that. And these legs, I'll drill those out, accent those a little bit more, maybe. Or maybe I could just, I know what I'll do. I'll take some tape, I'll highlight the shape, cut out the shape with the tape, put it onto some polystyrene, and I'll make a cutout of these little. I'm gonna have to make four of them, I guess. So there's these little triangles right here on the legs. Where is it? Yeah, right here on this leg. There's like this little triangle thing. So I'm gonna make 4 copies of those to make them stand out more, a little bulkier looking. Add some weight to it. Yeah, that's what's going on here. Okay,
Of making a bulky Cubelay. That is.
I don't know.
Now you just need to fuse it with the Virtue.
Oh man, I'm gonna play that. When I do the display video, I'll play that song by Little Dicky. She juicy. Uh, that'll just set it off, right? Everybody will love
That mobile suit is juicy.
it. Yeah, that'll work. And,
Who doesn't want a juicy mecha?
there's some that do and some that don't.
There's some of us that call us weird for building plastic women.
I know. So
They don't.
speaking of that, what is a Grail type mobile suit model kit or model kit in general that would be on your like holy grail list?
All right, so let's see. My first Grail kit. I've obtained most of them, and then I try to find a new one. Right now, let's see. So originally it was the Perfect Grade Phoenix Narrative, but I got that. And then it was the 711 Unicorn Perfect Grade, and I have that. High
Oh,
grade, high grade. I have all but 3 Perfect Grade Unicorn variants. I am missing the China Red, the Mastermind Phoenix, and the MSV Phoenix. I have all the rest of them.
I spent a I spent like a whole trip home from vacation last summer trying to find a 7-Eleven in America that sold Gunpla, and I could not find one.
Yeah, no, they don't do that here. We don't have fun 7-Elevens. We have
Oh,
Slurpees.
we're supposed to be getting fun 7-Elevens here. There was a
Oh.
there was the news that 7-Eleven, all the 7-Elevens in America are now owned by Japan or the Japan branch. So now
But that
all of
won't give us
their
the 7-Eleven Unicorn because the 7-Eleven Unicorn and the 7-Eleven Astray are not getting rerun. We
well,
still will not be getting 7-Eleven Unicorns and 7-Eleven Astrays.
no, but we'll still have a chance of getting some of the other high
We
grades and
will.
low
We
grades
will
and
have a
stuff.
chance at getting some of the other ones. But we're not going to talk about how much that 7-Eleven Unicorn cost me. No, sir.
Oh
Mm-mm.
no,
Mm-hmm. Nope. That
nope.
is not something we are going to bring up. I'm still paying that thing off.
Oh no.
I buy a lot of model kits on Discord, and I'm good friends with the people who do the selling. So usually, if it's something expensive, I just drop a deposit on it, and they're like, "I'll just hold on to it for you." I
Uh,
think it was so. It was a 7-Eleven Unicorn plus the third-party 7-Eleven water slides, since the 7-Eleven kits have stickers. Uh, and it was converting from yen to USD. It was, and after shipping, I paid $1,000 even for it.
Ooh.
Then again, my entire thought process of model kits being expensive was broken after I bought the second run Perfect Grade Phoenix. And I'm still pissed because I had to fight the bots for that. It sold out in like 15 seconds. And then they reran it and it was $80 to $100 cheaper after taxes. And now I'm pissed because everyone else who just bought theirs with this most recent reprint paid $100 less than I did for mine.
I still haven't gotten a single perfect grade yet.
I
I
have
don't see
in
that
the room
happening for a long time.
in the room with me here, I have the Perfect Grade Perfect Strike and the Perfect Grade Mark II AUG built. Upstairs, I have the Exia Repair, the Perfect Grade Evangelion, a Unicorn, a Banshee, and a Perfectibility, the Astray, and a Double O. And then in the backlog, I have the PGU, the Wing Zero, the Final Battle Unicorn, the Final Battle Banshee, and the Phoenix.
That's cool.
I think I'm missing 4 perfect grades and then a couple, and then the unicorn variations that I mentioned.
Okay.
I like my big kits. Kodo apparently is releasing some perfect grade sized girl kits soon.
Interesting. I have not like I don't have a I don't know. I don't have or want any of those kits. Like the girl kits.
I
I've never been
I
into.
originally thought the same thing, and then I decided to go out on a limb and buy a 30-minute sister. And now I have like 150 Kodo kits in my 350 something model kit backlog and an entire shelf of plastic women.
There
I
are a few of those kits that I would use as like upgrades to other kits. Like I
Yeah,
would
they are.
start in human form and then use what's there as upgrades to other models. I would do that. But as far as like building them regularly, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'm not
they
against
are a
them, and I hope
lot
everybody enjoys
of
them.
fun to build. I
I hope they are.
really enjoy building them. And
Like,
for me, the only thing that matters is the build.
there you go.
So I will continue to build the plastic women no matter what people say because they're fun.
Yeah, no, that's to each his own, right? Like, I'm gonna.
People are constantly like, we know you in Discord are like, we know you have a crap ton of mecha. Show us the mecha. And I'm like, but I like building the women. And that's what I'm gonna post because that's what I'm building right now.
I wish I could build more Sentai products. So, if you're listening out there, Bandai, go ahead and send me some more Super Mini Plot.
Bandai would like to say, go build the Ultraman kits.
No, no, that's not the Sentai I want.
There was just an announcement for more SMP kits. So
There was, and I hope that they don't just keep recycling for was it MMPR. I hope they actually go into other series and stuff too, because there are some really good series. Like they did a great run on Wild Force, and I think that's cool. And what would be a great addition to the Wild Force kits would be the what is it called? The other one where they're all three of the Zords are like cats, Jungle Force. There you go. It would be cool if they emphasized on a couple of the Jungle Force Zords and stuff. That would
that
be
would be
cool.
cool. I've never really been a Sentai person, and I was never a big Toku fan either.
Okay.
That Super Sentai and Power Rangers and the like was never really my thing, but I do enjoy Godzilla.
Okay. Godzilla's cool. I was a very big Power Rangers person. Um when everything went off the air, like when all the other cartoons went away, I was still at that age where I needed a cartoon or something. I was like one of those kids, like I still needed a cartoon, and everything they were bringing out was just it wasn't cutting it. And then all of a sudden, one morning, Power Rangers came on, and I was like, I caught the first episode and everything, and I was like, what is this? And I was like, this is cool. And so like from the age of like 5 and up, I was like all about Power Rangers.
Now,
Or I
what do you think
think
about Super Sentai or Kamen Rider in specific? Not
okay,
Super Sentai.
So Kamen Rider.
I keep thinking Kamen Rider and then saying Super Sentai because my friends who like Kamen Rider are also giant Power Ranger nerds and they're constantly saying it. And now my brain has made a connection between the two that there shouldn't be.
Well, actually, it should be there because
It
here's the
is technically a Super Sentai if we're talking Kamen Rider,
Kamen
aren't we?
Rider. Yeah, Kamen Rider is actually in the universe of Super Sentai completely. Like all of Kamen Rider takes place in the same universe as Super Sentai. So it makes it really fun when
It's
you have
just
to talk
we
about
are
it.
Sentai people. We just have motorcycles instead of dinosaurs.
Yeah. Or well, they're bugs, right? So Kamen Rider, they're all different bug forms and stuff like Black Mantis and
You
Green
blocked, you
Mantis.
parried a henshin?
Yeah.
How?
So and then if we go into Super Sentai, one of the first Sentais, the five color Ranger, he is actually a Kamen Rider. He's He's in a Kamen Rider suit as a
Now,
Power
but does
Ranger.
he do a rider kick or is he a fraud?
Yes, yes, and he has a motorcycle, and it's cool. It's really cool.
From a
His Zord is
flying jump into a rider kick.
yep, yep, and his Zord is super cheesy. It's not anything fancy. It's just like a blocky rocket that transforms into a man. It's fun. Uh, so with Sentai and all the different variants of it, which there were 15 before America got their first Power Rangers. So with the first 15, they never went back to any of those Rangers. So those were all like they would have in America we would have just called them like legendaries or whatever. They would have just been things we never knew about. Like there's legends that Zordon could have told the Rangers, and that'd be it. But moving forward, there were certain Sentai series that got skipped that I wish they wouldn't have skipped because it would have made a lot of what happened in certain eras of Power Rangers make a lot more sense of or the Disney era, for example, because this is what a lot of people refer to is a lot of people say, well, the Disney era didn't make sense because Disney was just pulling a story out of nowhere. But like, well, what happened was Disney was gifted this horrible footage that they didn't want to use the story from. Like they didn't want to correlate the two story, but they had no choice but to take a part of that story. So when they took the part of the story that they did take, it didn't really pan out well. And this is what I'm talking about is Power Rangers Samurai. I think that was the no, it was around there though. So Disney was in control, then Nickelodeon, then Disney, then Fox took over. And then after Fox took over, it went to like Netflix, and then Netflix
Yeah,
got
I think it's currently. Last time I heard anything about Power Rangers, it was Netflix.
yeah. So that Netflix was the last producers of it, but it's not. They're no longer what is it? The current company that owns it, Hasbro or whatever, has basically put the close up
The
on
mothership.
any production. Yeah, they put a close up on any production for Power Rangers, and they are selling off all of their old Power Ranger gear. So I mean, it's either doing one
Now,
of
are
two
you going to
things.
try and buy a suit at auction?
No, why would I? That would be an awful idea. I mean,
I think it'd be a beautiful idea, an
well,
awfully beautiful idea.
I'm not saying that the suits were bad looking or anything. I'm just saying I don't fit in it. Why would I want it?
I'm sure you can find a mannequin that fits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure it would come with the mannequin that it's posted on, right?
That is true.
That's sold separately. No, just one last.
Power Ranger. One last dick move from the mothership.
Right.
Mannequin sold separately.
Oh, that would be bad. That would be
That
really
sounds like
bad.
something Hasbro would do.
It sure does. Uh, So, but other than that, though, I was shocked to see them do it, but I wasn't at the same time because if a company owns the IP and they're trying to rid themselves of holding on to all this old IP that they no longer want to use as source material, and they're going to try and reboot the IP, they need to get rid of all that IP off of their. They don't need to be storing it, and I, instead of doing what they did, they could have sent it all over to like Japan as like an American exhibit to be put in the museum for the Sentai Museum, because over in Japan they have a Sentai Museum. And there is a small section where there's two American Rangers, and that's it. So it would have been really cool if they would have sent over all the American stuff that had come from Japan, like sent it back to go put it back in the museum. I would have liked to see that happen over them auctioning it off. But I mean, if you're trying to recuperate a couple of those millions and millions of dollars you spent on it in the first place, I get why you're selling it, not just putting it in a museum.
God knows people are going to pay for it.
Oh, exactly. So, no, I'm satisfied with my two Power Rangers that I have. I have a 9-inch White Ranger and a 7-inch Green Ranger, and they're both rare, hard to find collectibles. So I like them.
We love rare, hard to find collectibles. That's kind
Got
of our
them.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, got them from Toys R Us.
Rest in peace. You will be missed in the United States.
And that's why I say it's
They
American.
only died in the United States too. They're literally everywhere else.
Yeah, there is a comeback. The Mall of America is supposed to be getting a store,
Oh.
which is like a
Toys R Us Toys R Us makes a return?
yeah,
Impossible.
yeah. So there was, but it might not come back as Toys R Us. It might come back as a KB again. So we'll see. They're like the same brand up here in a sense. But KB's got cool products, so if KB does come back up here to Minnesota, that'd be cool. I could get some Ronin Warriors for $10 a piece again.
Dude, I've heard Toys R Us was wild. You could have wildly underpriced items on one shelf and then walk the next shelf over and it has like a 5 times markup.
Yeah, I believe it. Uh-oh. Come here, little pen. Yeah, what do you see? Please don't steal. Just want from darkness. Panel line? What panel line? We just colored it in with a Sharpie. Oh,
I know people who would I know a lot of people online who would crucifix someone for panel lining with a Sharpie.
well, I'm not
I don't
panel lining. These are just guidelines for a
Yeah.
design.
I've seen horror stories on Discords about people going and being like, "This was my first time panel lining. I used a Sharpie," and then getting absolutely slaughtered for panel lining with a Sharpie.
Oh, no. Just getting wreck sauced, huh? Oh,
Hmm. I am using Tamiya liner. You can't use Tamiya liner on an unpainted build. I mean,
you
that
can.
it and you shouldn't.
See, there's a difference. You can, but you should.
You can, but you shouldn't.
And it's okay. This
As
happens to
long as
too.
you're very careful, it won't absolutely destroy and disintegrate your build. I'm sure you know what you're doing. It's my first time panel lining. Oh dear God, that poor kit.
Yes.
I still don't know how I did not disintegrate my first kit when I panel lined it. Well, my first kit that I panel lined with the Tamiya liner because it was not painted. It was a freaking SD new Gundam, and it's still standing strong.
It's that SD plastic.
Yeah, with that
It's built
SD.
for a built for a 3-year-old to chew on.
SDs super tough.
I promise. I don't feel like SDs are for kids. I just feel like they were
Like
invented so that the kids wouldn't touch my really nice master grades. That's why they were
I
invented.
love building and painting SDs, and that is the best description of an SD I have ever heard. They're not made for kids. They're just made so that there's something that the kids will look at and go destroy instead of the really big fun ones on the shelf.
Yeah.
Because my bottom shelf is all of my SDs.
Yo, that's easy
Unless
reach
it's an
for
SD,
kids.
unless I have a master grade and perfect grade of that kit, the SDs stay on the SD shelf. Like the unicorns are with the other unicorns, my custom Exia repairs with the Exia. All of the SDs are with their respective suits. But if they don't have a respective suit in the collection, you go on the SD shelf. We are shelf maxing in this hobby.
Oh, not me. I'm wasteful.
I have
My
like
shelf space
I
is
have
all
like
over the
8
place.
shelves and I need to get more because I'm taking over the entire house and the people I live with are not appreciative of it. So I'm gonna line every wall in this basement with shelves so I never run out of shelf space.
That's a good plan. That's the problem. Got to get a basement. All right. Well, this is the the panel line idea I came up with.
That is actually awesome.
So I think I might stick with it. I'll let it sit and roast in my brain for a day, and I'll look at it. I won't even take it off the runner. I'll just sit and look at it.
Be
If I
like, do
don't
I
like it, I'll
really want to do this? Is this
right.
really what I want to do?
If I don't like it, I'll pull out the dry erase marker tomorrow and I'll erase it real quick. By the way,
Bring out the magic eraser.
yep. By the way, anybody, if you don't know, Sharpie can be erased with a dry
With
erase marker. You just,
most
you
most
just,
things can be erased with a dryer because the Sharpie you're reactivating the ink so you can wipe it off and then you
yeah,
use a melamine sponge to take the smear.
exactly, exactly. So, 'cause Sharpie's not actually permanent.
It's permanent as long as it stays deactivated.
I'll agree to, yeah. So I like this. This looks cool. And then I'm gonna make those little triangle plates. Um, something we haven't done since we've been on the whole time, but it's been scrolling across the bottom of the screen, so I don't feel so bad. If you guys haven't been looking at the bottom of the screen, go ahead and take a look now. Scrolling across the screen is a discount code that you can use at my sponsor shop. Go to ClarksvilleHobbyDepot.com and use that discount code WebCOfficial for 10% off a $25 purchase or more. And trust me, uh, a couple things can add up and really make a difference on that discount.
Oh, we know way too well in this hobby how discounts add up.
Yep. So, I mean, that's a good discount. Head on over there. Clarksville Hobby Depot. Not only do they have a great selection of model kits for Gunpla, but they also have great tanks. They have scale train supplies, so you can do all your diorama building that you need to do. And they also have RC cars. So if you're into the RC car world, head on over there and check them out. They got some really good prices on RC products over at Clarksville Hobby Depot. And that is how we do that. We talk about the the wonderful, wonderful Clarksville Hobby Depot. They're really awesome over there. They ship your products with care. I remember the first time I opened one of my boxes from Clarksville Hobby Depot, and everything was individually wrapped in bubbles. I was like, wow! I was amazed because if you order from some places, your stuff gets kicked in, like they push it in real hard. I just saw a
Coughs,
picture.
coughs, and gun damn it.
I just saw a picture of somebody's package from New Type, and it looked like they were playing the Jim Carrey at the beginning of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Now, I've only ever seen most of my experiences with everyone has been great so far. New Type has packed most of my packages well. But I've had one
Yeah,
person who ordered paint. It all depends on who packed it that day.
yeah,
You get someone who doesn't like packing packages, and it's not a fun time.
right. You're not gonna be happy with what you pull out either. So yeah, so with Clarksville Hobby Depot, that's usually not an issue. You usually get your package, it's really nice. It comes intact and ready to use, which is so
And if
awesome.
there's issues, go blame the Postal Service.
Right, you blame the Postal Service, but contact your representative over there at Clarksville Hobby Depot. They'll get you taken care of. Trust me, they're all about the customer service at Clarksville, and that's what I love about being sponsored by them is that I'm able to sit and brag about their customer service and that they love they love to serve the hobby community. So that's one of the things that makes me happy about being associated with them as their sponsored builder, and they're happy to know that I recently won a competition powered by Clarksville Hobby Depot. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Summer build off was pretty cool. I had fun. Um, it was a learning curve for me because I did a whole new paint style that I've never done before, and I used G paint for it, which really also sealed it up real nice for me. The G paints. You can do lace work with G paint, which is really cool. So if you ever want to try something different, look up doing lace work on Harley Davidson tanks or on motorcycle gas tanks. And
My family actually runs the company that prints the shirts for Harley Davidson. We've got a bunch of motorcycles. Grandpa used to paint gas tanks all the time.
nice, yeah. My dad used to work. He used to build motorcycles in Minnesota for a special custom company. They were all Harley products, but it was like a company, like they specialized. Like if you wanted to get thunder headers put on your bike, you'd take it to my dad, and he would get your thunder headers and your rams and stuff, your ram air intake put on your. It was really cool. Like he built this one. It was like it was this purple and yellow lightning looking dragster that my dad helped build, and I got to see them fire that thing up on a track once, and wow, that was fast. So yeah, I grew up in the custom motorcycle world, and that was pretty awesome. Doing all that stuff, being around all that stuff growing up, it really like carries over into other hobbies and stuff. And I use a lot of what I've learned from that painting aspect and stuff. My grandpa was he used to paint like Ferraris for famous people. Like famous people would come to Minnesota and they would drop off their Ferraris or their Lamborghinis, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I want it, painted really nice. Like it needs to be refreshed." Or not even like that. They'd just be like, like Ferrari used to only paint their cars red. So you could never get like a black Ferrari or a green Ferrari. My grandpa, he didn't care. He would start sanding. He's like,
Yep.
you want it to okay, he would just be like, that's an ugly color, but if that's what you want, he'd
I don't
smile
know
and
why you would do that to the car. It looks good in red. It should be in red, but I'll do it anyway.
yeah, yeah, grandpa, and that's what grandpa did. So he passed that type of stuff on to me and my dad, and I figured I'd miniaturize the technique and use it on models. So that's
Ever
how I.
been to Sturgis?
Not technically been to Sturgis, no, but growing up, my house felt like it was a Sturgis rally. So I mean, I don't feel like I missed out on anything. But my dad's gone to Sturgis quite a few times, especially like
Yeah.
when he was younger and stuff. So yeah.
You heard stories of the Buffalo Bike?
No, but I'm sure I could ask my dad about it. My dad liked to go hang out at famous Dave's tent because my dad was
Yeah.
friends with famous Dave. So he'd go over to Dave's tent and hang out over there and get barbecue and drink all the free beer he could find. So hey,
I think
that'd
they
be
held a memorial at Sturgis for my grandpa.
well. That's pretty cool.
Uh, he was a big motorcycle person.
I like that.
I
I
didn't
wish
know
I
him.
could drive.
I didn't know him too well though.
I wish I could drive a motorcycle. I haven't driven a motorcycle since I was 20. Yeah,
God
it's been.
knows I would love to, but it would probably not be the best idea.
No, it would vibrate my leg apart. If my leg could handle it. I've been thinking about like me and my wife keep looking at trikes whenever we're on the road and we see somebody drive by, we keep looking at trikes and we're going, oh, maybe I could drive one of those. Or,
Around the road around here, we got a couple people who have slingshots, and I look at it and I'm just like, what is it? And why does it exist?
my father-in-law, my wife's dad, he said he got to ride in one when he went over to Colorado to meet his boss for some cool work meetings and stuff. And he said he was actually pretty impressed with them. They're
Oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
they're so cool. I've been in one too. They're awesome. It's just why?
I don't know.
Like the Cybertruck. Why?
Oh, I feel like there's a Cybertruck that stalks me and my wife because it doesn't matter. Whenever me and my wife leave the house and we go on a trip, whether it's 20 minutes down the road or an hour down the road, we see a Cybertruck going the opposite way down the road from us. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, is
It's
there shit?
trying to tell you, buy a Cybertruck.
No,
You won't regret it.
I don't want a raccoon trap, okay? I just don't want
Buy
one.
the Cybertruck. I want one, and then I'm going to put it in my lawn and say, this here is my lawn ornament, a relic of a bygone era of stupidity.
Oh no. In 19 oh no, in 1885 we had electric vehicles. They didn't last long. That's all I
Back in the year of 2024, a strange man named Elon Musk created this contraption. It was arguably barely even fit to be called a vehicle.
It wasn't meant to be road friendly.
Nothing about that thing is classified as a vehicle.
No,
It's
it's a raccoon trap. Like there was an article that people had to like start parking their vehicles further away
because
from
they
the
thought
other
because
garbage
the
cans.
raccoons thought they were fucking trash cans.
I hadn't.
Around here, there's like four of them, and there's one of them in blue, and I saw it, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't look that bad if you put a proper coat of paint on it.
Yeah, I see. I keep seeing the aluminum colored one. You know, the brushed
Because
aluminum ones.
that's not even a paint. That's just bare metal. That is
I
bare
know.
aircraft grade, whatever the fuck it is. There's no sealing coat on it either.
It's a DeLorean.
That's exactly what I said. Everyone who tells me it's awful, I'm like, it has the same charm to it that the DeLorean does.
Yep.
It doesn't work as a car. It looks really weird. In fact, it looks so bad, it's actually kind of cool. And then they're like, how dare you compare it to the DeLorean? And I'm like, it's the same thing if you think about it for a
Okay.
couple seconds.
My comeback is, well, it's a DeLorean if Rick and Morty were to use it.
It's a DeLorean if you needed to turn the DeLorean into a tank.
Yeah, right. Hurry up, Morty. We're gonna go back in time and convince your dad to use a condom. Huh? No.
Rick, Morty, we need to go back in time and get your dad to buy a DeLorean.
Well, I don't know. That sounds risky.
Oh, it'll be fine. It's not like we're actually gonna create a Cybertruck or anything. Fuck, we created a Cybertruck.
Oh no.
And that one action caused Elon Musk to create Tesla and build the Cybertruck.
Rick and Morty. All right. Well,
Morty, we doomed the timeline.
oh, let's see. Where are we at? I'm asking questions. Do you do competitions? Are you a competition
I
builder?
do actually. Right now, I'm in a girl kit building competition. I have my friend taking pictures of it. That's submissions due at the end of the month. I've won a couple of my local ones with my set. The only Zaku I have in my collection is right here. Actually, if I grab it, right in front of me. This took me 4 hours, cell shading and all, and that is hand brushed matte Mr. Hobby, so that I could actually cell shade on it.
Sweet.
Only Zaku I own. Took me about. I had 5 hours to build it. It took me four, and I posed it doing a char kick alongside my cell shaded Origin Grams.
Okay. So I have not cell shaded a kit yet. I was playing around with the idea of cell shading and I like butchered an Exia.
Yeah. This was my first time cell shading. Well, second technically. First time doing my cell shading with airbrush paints and shading. That shield is beautiful.
It looks really good. I like that blast effect you did too. I can.
You put that on a white piece of paper and it just disappears. It doesn't even look like a model kit anymore.
There you go, everybody. Check that out. We zoomed in on it. That looks great. Digging it. All right. Well, I got a bunch of kids over here that are super restless to make some noise. They've been quiet for us for the last hour and 20 minutes. So I am going to stop torturing them for the rest of the night, and
You
I'm
should
going to go
stop
get them.
torturing the children.
I'm going to go get them some treats and sit them down to some TV or something. So everybody out there in the world, have a great night. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. If you're watching after we do the live, just leave a comment, a like, a share, subscribe. That is an amazing one. That's super cool. I like that build you got there. Yeah, so like, subscribe, and share. Come and hang out with us next week at Friday at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. Central Time. And we're doing the same thing, just talking about hobbies, doing some work, and yeah. that's what we'll be doing. So thank you, everybody. And don't forget to stop over at Clarksville Hobby Depot, where you can get 10% off a discount of $25 or more on your purchase if you use the code WebCOfficial. If that's WebC with the dash between the B and the C, like you see it on the screen, official. So head on over there. And once again, thank you to our guest for the night, 10. Thank you for coming in and hanging out, just jumping in there. And we will definitely have you on again to hang out with us in the future. You were
Yeah,
such a
thanks
great,
for inviting me. It was
such great
better
company.
than sitting there doing nothing tonight like I was planning on doing anyway. So
There you go. So awesome. And we'll see everybody next week.
I would like to introduce